going to a gentleman that I always say this guy makes the Dos Equis guy look boring because I can't even begin to tell you he is the most interesting guy in the world by far. RHO, Robert Hamilton Owens, very polite of you to put your hand up, by the way. Very, very nice. So RHO, you're up with Amberly.
You know, what caught my attention in amongst all these things is about resilience, and practice your resilience before you need it. Can you talk a little bit more about that? For me, you know, I ask people to do something difficult every day that they don't want to do, and they learn that they can do more than they think they can if they tackle their issues. But tell me a little bit more about how do you practice your resilience, you personally, or for those that you work with, before you need it?
Oh, thank you, Robert. Such a great question. And you know what? I think that resiliency, it comes from not just doing one thing. It's not just about mindset. I think it starts with your mindset, but I think our minds, our body, spirit, it's all interconnected. And for me, I have to be very disciplined and be very basic and keep it simple. And so what I mean by that is I start in the morning and I keep promises to myself. So if I set my alarm for 5, when the alarm goes off, I get up because it makes me feel like, oh, I can get up. I can keep that promise to myself. I'm a go-getter. I'm up. If I don't, if I push snooze, it's a kind of a notch of, it kind of is a notch against my resiliency and my confidence of, see, you can't even get up when you promised yourself you would, you know? And so then I move my body. In fact, I'm going to admit to y'all, I still have on a nice shirt, but my workout pants on low. I worked out upstairs with a client and then ran downstairs and changed real quick. But I have to move my body to keep my strength. So when I was going through surgery after surgery, I would have a surgery, then sometimes only one day in between surgeries. And I did everything I could to be resilient, from eating the best that I could possibly eat, trying to sleep. And when I say move my body, and how do I move my body in the hospital, I actually asked the doctors to install a pull-up bar over my hospital bed. They thought I was crazy, but I knew I couldn't stand up. I couldn't use the bathroom on my own. I had to use a bedpan, but I could sure as heck do pull-ups and keep my upper body strong. And so mentally, that made me feel like, okay, I'm moving in the right direction. My gratitude list, whatever you can do to keep your mind, body, and spirit in a positive place, and just knowing that you have the ability that when you, like me this morning, get that little setback, I was spiraling down into negativity, and like you have the ability to shift that and change it right away. And then there's one thing I'd like to share really quick, and I can give you a free download. I'll put the phone number and info in the chat for you. But I came up with, I need something quick that's going to remind me. I came up with something, I call it the pacer method, and it's called that because my husband told me to pace myself, and it kind of offended me being an entrepreneur, because I'm like, really? Slow down? I don't think so, buddy. But I had to shift the way I thought about pacing myself and make it a win-win, and kind of taking things in stride. So PACER stands for perspective, acceptance, community, endurance, and rest. And it's a lot of the things we've talked about. But whenever I'm not feeling resilient, or I need to work on my resiliency, I think, okay, how can I shift my perspective? The easiest way to do that is with gratitude. Acceptance, or if you're feeling anxious, like what's going on in your life, that like the easiest way to make sure you're in acceptance and keeping it real and you're having awareness is say, how's that working for you? Is it helping you or is it hurting you? Because when you're in acceptance, you can take action steps and you can be in the right community, which is the next part. Community, y'all, connection is everything. It's the opposite of loneliness, of addiction, of anxiety. It is what we need to go after our dreams and to be unstoppable. And it takes so much endurance, which is the next part of PACER. And that's really when your passion and your perseverance come into play. And then the last part is rest, which was super hard for me. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I had to make rest part of my business strategy. And so I even have like I'll look at my watch when I wake up and say, okay, what's my readiness score? How much sleep? How much REM sleep? How much deep sleep? And sometimes we have to strategically stop and plan times to rest, restore, and recover, or unplug so we can be more resilient. And so I will put that number, the number is 818-214-7378. Just type the word grit, GRIT, and it'll give you that free download. And you can also that's me texting you back. So just text me, hey, we're in the same community. I just wanted to say hi, because it's me texting you back.